A team of scientists just resurrected prehistoric cannabinoid producing enzymes that are better than anything nature has created in 25 million years of evolution. They did it in yeast, and if you work anywhere in extraction, processing, product development, equipment manufacturing, this paper should be keeping you up at night. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I am Grim from WKU Consulting. What makes me qualified to teach you about what I'm about to teach you? Well, I build and design extraction laboratories. That's what we do. I've built 26 of them over the past 14 years, and today we are doing a deep dive into a research paper that dropped out of the Netherlands earlier this year that I think is probably one of the most important pieces of cannabis science published in the last decade. The paper is called Resurrected Ancestral Cannabis Enzymes Unveil the Origin and Functional Evolution of Cannabinoid Synthesis. Published in Plant Biotechnology Journal by a team at Wageningen University led by Villard and Van Velzen. I might have mispronounced you. I'm sorry, I'm not from the Netherlands. Now that title sounds dense, but by the end of the video, you are going to understand exactly what they did, why it matters, and what it means for the future of every extraction lab, every cultivator, every product formulator, every equipment manufacturer in this industry. Every single cannabinoid in your lab that has ever been processed, every molecule of THC, CBD, CBG, CBC, all of it traces back to one starting molecule, and that molecule is CBGA. It is the universal precursor called the mother of all cannabinoids. The cannabis plant uses specialized enzymes called cannabinoid oxidocyclases to convert CBGA into specific cannabinoids. THCA synthase takes CBGA and produces THCA. CBDA synthase takes that same CBGA and produces CBDA. CBCA synthase does the same for CBCA, same starting material, same enzyme family, same FAD cofactor. The only difference is how each enzyme folds and cyclizes that geranyl side chain. That's it. The geometry of one chemical reaction is the only thing separating THC from CBD from CBC. Cannabis's closest living relative is hops. It's the same family. Hops does not produce cannabinoids, so when in evolutionary history did cannabis develop this ability? Before or after it split from hops? Nobody has the experimental data to answer this until this team decided to go full-on Jurassic Park. The technique is called ancestral sequence reconstruction, or ASR. You take the DNA sequences of enzymes from living organisms, cannabis, hops, related species like that, and you build an evolutionary family tree, a phylogenetic tree. At every branching point, you can use statistical models to calculate what the DNA sequence at that branch point most likely looked like millions of years ago. Think of it like this. If I showed you 100 photographs of a family reunion and asked you figure out what all the great-grandmothers looked like based on the features shared by her descendants, you could make a pretty good guess. Nose, ears, eyebrows. ASR does the same thing with DNA sequences. It works backwards from the living descendants to reconstruct the ancestors. The team took 77 BBL enzyme sequences from cannabis, hops, and a related species called Trema orientale, and they built the tree. They identified three key ancestors to resurrect. HCA, the enzyme from the common ancestor of cannabis and hops before these two plants diverged roughly 25 million years ago. CA, the ancestor of all three modern cannabinoid synthases. After hops branched off in A1, A2A, the more recent ancestor shared specifically by THCA synthase and CBCA synthase. They reconstructed these sequences using both Bayesian inference and maximum likelihood confidence levels were high, 94 to 96% posterior probability. Then they synthesized the ancient genes, inserted them into yeast, grew the yeast, purified the enzymes, and tested them against CBGA. They literally brewed ancient cannabis enzymes in yeast. Let that sink in for a second. Result number one, HCA, the oldest ancestor, the enzymes from before cannabis and hops diverged. They expressed it, it folded correctly. It was a functional protein. But when they put CBGA in front of it, Nothing. Zero activity. Could not metabolize CBGA at all. The same result from the equivalent enzyme with modern hops. So this is a definitive answer to the question that has been debated for years. Cannabinoid production did not exist before cannabis and hops separated. It evolved after, period. That question is now closed. Result number 2, CA, the first cannabis-specific ancestor. This is where things get pretty interesting. CA could metabolize CBGA, but it did not produce just one cannabinoid. It produced all three. Approximately 60% THCA, 30% CBDA, and 10% CBCA, all from one enzyme. The first cannabinoid-producing enzyme in evolutionary history was not a specialist. It was a generalist, a multitasker. It made everything, every cannabinoid. This directly contradicts the previously popular hypothesis that the first cannabinoid synthase was a CBDA-specific enzyme. The data says otherwise. The original enzyme favored THCA and produced all three mother enzymes simultaneously. Now, result number 3, A1A2A, the intermediate ancestor, already narrowing its focus, 87% THCA, 13% CBCA, 0% CBDA, on the trajectory towards modern THCA synthase, but not quite finished yet. Modern THCAS, or THCA synthase, produces 95% THCA with 5% CBCA as a byproduct. So evolution spent 25 million years refining an enzyme from a generalist that made everything into a specialist that makes one thing at 95% purity, and these researchers just mapped every single step of that journey. The team did not just stop at resurrecting the enzymes. They wanted to know exactly which mutations drove the transition from zero activity to full cannabinoid production. So they built some hybrid enzymes, swapping specific amino acid residues between ancestral and modern sequences to isolate exactly which changes mattered. Then they took the inactive HCA backbone and introduced 39 substrate binding region mutations from CA. The hybrid enzyme suddenly metabolized CBGA, but here is the wild part. It only produced CBCA, greater than 99% selectivity for CBCA. This suggests that the very first cannabinoid that the enzyme learned to produce, the original default product, was CBC. Not THC, not CBD, CBC, the forgotten cannabinoid. THC and CBD came later. Then came the key finding, a four-amino-acid insertion at positions 359 to 362 in a region called the ASA-loop, or the active site adjacent loop. When they added this tiny insertion into the hybrid, activity jumped 3.6-fold, and the product shifted from nearly pure CBCA to a mixture, 56% CBCA, 28% THCA, and 16% CBDA. 4 amino acids. That is all it took to unlock a full cannabinoid repertoire. 4 amino acids separate a single product enzyme from one that could produce every major cannabinoid simultaneously. Evolution is efficient when it wants to be. The specialization towards CBD required only 14 more substrate binding region mutations. These caused a physical rotation of the ASA-loop through change-driven interactions, repositioning how CBGA sits in the active site, so the enzyme clips the molecule differently. Elegant, predictable in retrospect, invisible without an ancestral approach. So here's where this stops being a paleontology lesson and starts being a business threat. The resurrected ancestral enzymes were dramatically easier to produce in yeast than their modern counterparts. Expression levels were 3 to 4 times higher than A1A2A and 2 to 3 times higher for CA compared to your modern THCA synthase. These are not marginal improvements. These are the kind of numbers that incredibly change the economics of biosynthetic cannabinoid production. A hybrid enzyme, the team produced 3.1 times more CBDA than natural CBDA synthase, while expressing 2 to 3 times better. Another hybrid produced greater than 99% pure CBCA from yeast. 99%. Let me say that number again. 99% purity from yeast. In practical terms, a fermentation tank running engineered yeast with these ancestral enzymes could produce specific cannabinoids at purities and yields that extraction from plant material just cannot currently match. No cultivation, no harvesting, no winterization, no chromatography, no solvents, no acids, nothing. Just yeast, sugar, time, and a bioreactor. If you are an extraction lab operator watching this thinking, oh, well, that's a long way off, I would encourage you to reconsider. Yeast-based cannabinoid production has been technically feasible since 2019. What has been missing is an enzyme efficiency and selectivity at commercially viable levels. And this paper just solved both for CBDA and CBCA. We're not talking about decades. We're talking about years. And here's the wild card. Cannabichromene, CBC, has always been the forgotten cannabinoid. Trace amounts on every COA you've ever read, but published research suggests that CBC has anti-inflammatory, neuroprotective, and analgesic properties, and no commercial cannabis cultivar exists with high CBC content. Well, guess what? This study solved the supply problem from two directions. The hybrid enzyme produces greater than 99% CBCA from CBGA and yeast, and they identified the ancestral enzyme that could theoretically be inserted into the plant genome to create the first high CBC cultivar. If CBC's therapeutic profile holds up under clinical scrutiny and the early data does look promising, the group that controls efficient CBC production will own an emerging market. And this paper just published the blueprint. So let me tie this together with some context that makes it even more urgent. The federal hemp ban hits in 2026, November. Total THCA testing replaces the Delta 9 only threshold. That's 0.4 milligrams per container. Limit effectively eliminates most hemp-derived cannabis products on the market. If the regulatory pathway for plant-derived cannabinoids tightens, while biosynthetic production falls under the FDA oversight frameworks, the companies that invested early in fermentation could end up with a structural regulatory advantage. For cultivators, the value proposition of cannabis biomass is shifting. If specific cannabinoids can be produced more cheaply in a bioreactor, the plant's competitive advantage will increasingly rest on things yeast cannot replicate. Full spectrum terpene profiles, minor cannabinoid ratios that arise from whole plant genetics, the regulatory moat of being a natural product. For product formulators, this technology will eventually enable cannabinoid blends at specific ratios that not a single plant on the planet can reproduce. Custom THCA, CBDA, CBCA ratios at the enzymatic level. The formulation possibilities are significant, particularly for the medical industry. The cannabis industry loves to talk about craft and artisan and sun-grown and all the things that make plant-based production special, and those things matter, I believe that. But pretending that biosynthetic production is not coming or that it will not reshape extraction economics is the kind of thing and the kind of thinking that puts companies out of business. And imagine all of the people that invested in a huge laboratory, 1.3 million, 1.4 million, 1.5 million in infrastructure. All of these pieces of equipment are going to become obsolete really, really fast. Large grows, all of those things, especially when the number one selling product in the United States right now is THCA. And when you find out that you don't need to touch the plant a single time or have $1.3 million in equipment infrastructure to make THCA diamonds or isolate, and that you can grow it in a bioreactor that costs you $120,000 with very minimal risk, maximum risk mitigation as far as solvents, acids, PPEs, all these different things about your laboratory blowing up, needing controlled environments, C1, D1 rooms. Don't even get me started. I've been doing this for more than a decade. This literally puts most equipment manufacturers on notice. You have time, but how much time do you have left? Well, that is the question that we don't know yet. 25 million years ago, an ancestral cannabis plant developed a promiscuous enzyme that could convert CBGA into 3 different cannabinoids simultaneously. Evolution spent the next 25 million years refining those enzymes into specialized synthases that we see today. A team in the Netherlands just compressed that entire evolutionary process into a single research paper, produced better enzymes than nature ever did, and published the blueprint for everyone to replicate. The ancient enzymes are awake. The question is, are you? Guys, I hope that you found this video likable, knowledgeable, helpful, informative. It has been a blessing, a privilege, nay, an honor to teach and consult you today. If you like this video, I have no doubt that you will like one of these. popping up over my shoulder. And also, if you need any help, all of my contact information is in the pinned comment section and the video description. I'm more than happy to walk you through this and help ease you out of the anxiety that some people must no doubt be feeling with a 5 to 10 year timeline. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.